Hey, everybody, welcome to a very special YouTube only episode of the CEO's Guide to Marketing. This episode and one that will follow next week were recorded live on tape at this year's Forbes CMO Summit in Aspen. What we did was bring together a couple of dozen CMOs and leading marketers from across the agency ecosystem as well. And we asked everybody to give us their answers to two questions. The first question is, what is in fact marketing today? And given everything that's changed and changing, what will it be tomorrow and will it still be the same, tools aside? The second question is, if the CEO of a huge company came up to you and said, I don't understand a lot about marketing, but I want to, where would you start and what would you tell them the most important things they need to know are? With that, what we invite you to do is listen for the commonalities in people's answers, the nuances within them, and then the differences in opinion, because we think that that's where insight and learning can come from. And we hope you enjoyed these two special episodes of the CEO's Guide to Marketing.
The biggest changes in marketing are that marketers of the future have to think differently. They have to be brilliant orchestra conductors. So what does that mean? That means connecting the dots across all of your SMEs and ensuring that their voices are heard. It's also about connecting the dots with technology. So consumers today, especially newer generations, are more attuned with AI and technology, and they want things not just authentic, but real. So marketers of the future have to be able to marry both tech and humanity to create experiences that consumers love. And the heart of marketing will always be the same, that consumer experience, the product itself, whether it's the packaging, the design, the taste, all has to come through and surprise and delight each time.
Over the last few years, I feel like marketing has evolved quite a bit. And in today, it's not just about the creative campaigns and the fun, exciting things that you see from the consumer's perspective. There's a lot more about connecting commerce to culture, making sure that brands are relevant, and then ultimately ensuring that you have real growth plans in the way that you're building your marketing overall. I also feel that like today, there's this emphasis on trying to chase these viral moments. And I don't think that's actually necessary, and it won't be part of what's tomorrow. As far as what I see tomorrow, it'll shift from this idea of trying to engage in real time, which is a huge component in today's world of marketing, and definitely have this idea of this always-on systematic approach that's leveraging technology and tools for marketers to be omnipresent with their audiences. But with that, we're going to have to really up our game in how to measure the growth and the impact in the future.
Marketing is a lot more than what it has been in the past, which is advertising the right message to the right person. It's more about the outcomes now, which for me, it's all about building relevance, building trust. But while you do that, it's also driving business growth. It's no longer an either or, it's an and. The flywheels have to run together. I also believe in a world where technology is moving so fast, where technologies like AI is almost reducing the technology mode. It's the brand, it's the emotional and cultural connection that actually makes you stand apart, and that is extremely critical. But at the same time, for marketing to be able to drive business growth, for purpose and profitability to go together, for science and storytelling to go together, I think that's marketing. And is that going to change in the future? I think the first principles of marketing don't change. What may change is the how, the means, more channels, more proliferation, more technology, more tools. But the human mindset, the need to look for trust and security, that will never change.
I think fundamentally the discipline of marketing has not really changed over the years, but the execution of how we market as storytellers to connect the dots for consumers as we move them through a purchase journey or whatever, that's actually evolved a lot with the changing landscape of media. And then the way that you have to meet consumers and your audience where they live and where they are versus having them try to come to you. So I think that's what's changed, but the discipline of marketing, of being good storytellers, connecting emotionally with your audience is still what we have to do every day. And that has been true, I think, for the eternity of marketing.
The what of marketing hasn't changed. The fundamentals have always remained consistent. Marketers have always been orchestrators of narratives and experiences across various touch points. What has changed and what will continue to change is the how. This generation of marketers, myself included, we've all lived through, three major not just technological, but fundamental shifts in humanity, if you think about how we connect, right? Social media, the smartphone, and now AI. So I think adaptability and the ability to always look around corners is what will continue to be tested of marketers in the future.
Marketing has always been about being top of mind for your customer at the moment of need. What's changed is that there's channel convergence, the funnel is collapsing. So TV is now shoppable and measurable, and retail media is more inspiration forward, which means that every channel has to both inspire and convert. What's changing with AI, the amount of content is going to be essentially infinite. So we're all going to have to work much harder to earn that attention and ultimately to prove results.
My hope is that marketing is always going to stay a little bit of this combination of art and science. I think since the evolution of a lot of technology tools that support marketers and the data science that goes along with it and attribution models and conversion rate analysis, those are things that only helped us be better marketers. But it required us to be open to a new way of thinking about marketing. It wasn't just, does the customer like it? Do I like it? Does my CEO like it? It had to be grounded in data and analytics as well as human experience. And so my hope is that AI tools is just another opportunity for us to learn what new technology could bring us and what we can do with it, but that we don't throw out a lot of the great foundations that we've had for years and years about what makes good marketing and what resonates with our audience and what stories we want to tell.
I think marketing is driving growth by connecting brands with humans. The things that are more important than ever before is deep empathy, that ability to connect, create community, and really bring out the humanity.
Marketing today is still about driving profitable growth for a company. Marketing is changing, though, seismically. There's massive transformational change happening in marketing with generative AI, with generative chats, with agentic AI. Everything's changing. So how your brand is discovered, how your brand acquires, keeps that customer, that's all changing, but the fundamentals still apply. And that is, people need to think of your brand, they need to love your brand, you need to resonate with them, and then ultimately you need to cater to them and offer the experiences that make them want to stay with you, make them want to love you.
Marketing today is all about human connection. It's about recognizing someone if you've seen them before and showing up in a way that they're actually going to value. But it's also being excited to show them things that might be new and that they may not have even anticipated they'll be interested in. Will it be the same tomorrow? Absolutely. The same as it was yesterday, it will be tomorrow.
The fundamentals, I think, will be the same. We're serving humans, we're selling ideas, concepts. But the means to do it really is going to change. I mean, the distribution is going to change. The optimization is going to change. So I think we need a good mix of keeping the fundamentals, but adjusting to a new world. Technologies are changing. I mean, if we really believe that agents are going to be doing decisions for us, a lot of what the orchestration today of marketing is changing. And so I hope all marketers can keep what they do well and adjust to this new world.
I'm a traditionalist. I think marketing is about storytelling. I think that it will always be about that. But I think in an agentic AI world, I think you're going to have to do storytelling that really gets people to care about why your product, your brand matters. That's going to be the biggest evolution in marketing, I think.
I think what marketing is today is consistent with what it will be tomorrow, which is really the heart and the soul of any company. And the best companies recognize that and look to marketing to show them the best of themselves.
I think that we've had this conversation 17 times over the years as things have changed in marketing. And I think that in some ways, this is no different, and in some ways it's completely different. I think the no different is the core tenets of marketing around understanding your customer, understanding how you can get them to take action that drives business growth. Those kind of tenets are going to stay exactly the same as they always have done. I think what's going to change, if I think about the lens of AI, I actually think it's super exciting for marketers, because I think that marketers are going to get more into the business of what I call big M marketing, thinking about the broader business strategy and how marketing can drive that forward. And they're going to get less out of the business of little m sort of marketing, lower value add kind of marketing and communications.
Marketing in its simplest form is really all about people, and it's about connecting people to businesses. It's about understanding people, their needs, their wants, their desires, their motivations, and then how businesses, through their goods or services, can really connect with them and find solutions to help solve and meet those needs. And while over time, there's going to be a lot of things changing as far as technology, as far as media consumption, consumer trends, behavior shifts, the fundamental truth is not going to change at all and remain still intact in its simplest form, which is that marketing is all about people. It's about connecting people to businesses.
I think nothing is constant, especially in the world of marketing. If you look at all the changes in technology that have happened over time, the hardest hit teams or the first teams to be hit were usually the marketing teams, because you have to quickly adapt in terms of how customers are perceiving the value of the products and services you're delivering. How does that help them embrace what's happening in the market or the shift that is happening in their own organizations? So definitely don't think marketing is not changing. It is changing rapidly. So with everything else going on around us, I think the role of marketing is going to elevate to making sure that you're managing almost like two sets of teams. There's going to be a team of agents that you manage and you orchestrate all of that, making sure that you can automate and optimize all the mundane tasks. And on the other side, there is a team of like your creatives, your builders, and you have to nurture those teams, because creativity, human connection, empathy, those things aren't really going anywhere. In fact, if anything that I can point out here is that, they become even more important, and you'll have to invest more in those as a CMO.
I've always held a belief that marketing, on one hand, is about storytelling. And at the end of the day, the transformation that we see across the ecosystem today, powered by AI and all the things that we are focused on, at the end of the day, storytelling will still be at the core of marketing.